Hi, welcome to Async. This is Sadia. Async is an asynchronous podcast where Joshua and I have a back and forth conversation about technology, app development, and remote work. So, Joshua, let's start by following up with a few things. Um, let's look at setups. So I'm working on my recording setup. I think I want to get like some lights, I want to get some studio lights. Oh, wonder if I just open up my home app, whether I can sort of work out some cool lighting situation like this. Uh, anyway, probably doesn't have that much of an effect. Also, I wanted to update my app situation. What am I using for apps? I want to be able to do this without my Mac, I decided. The theme for the episode. Maybe that's the episode title. So I've got two iPhones. It would be better with an iPhone and an iPad though, so I should try it with an iPad. And there's an app called Blackmagic Camera, which I'm told that Apple uses that for their productions. Blackmagic, one word, camera. And it's good because there's a feature that lets me use one phone here, this one, with this phone that I'm recording on, and I can see like a preview of everything that's happening there. So I can remote start it, I can control the camera, I can see my audio levels, which are peaking at the moment. Maybe I should talk a bit quieter. And yeah, so it works well. Two sort of situations. If I could get my other camera app like position right here, that'd be nice as like a monitor there. And then if it was an iPad, I could have my notes beside as well. The other thing is I'm using the DJI mic and I'm using the DJI Osmo 6, Osmo Mobile, and I'm using that as a stand, but I can also use it, as we've talked about, to move the camera and things like that. I think it's probably overkill, but yeah, here I am in my office, and that's my setup. All right. Next topic is you've mentioned Cal Newport, and of course, like we've talked about Infinity Wells quite a lot on this podcast. I think it's going to be a recurring theme because I think Infinity Wells and Cal Newport's book Deep Work, I think that's maybe, I'd have to look into it, but I think that's where the term comes from. It's an important part of how we work. It's an important part of how we define our relationship as technologists, how we define our relationship with technology. And I was thinking about it. I was thinking that maybe this book, this Deep Work book, is something that's worth passing down to our children even. Maybe like if I'm doing a talk about having good digital boundaries and a healthy relationship with technology, maybe this is the sort of book that I'm recommending, this Deep Work. And specifically Infinity Wells is something that is just, ever since I read about it, has just stayed top of mind every time I'm thinking about my relationship with my phone. I think a lot of tech workers our age are similarly minded, so it's something to pass on perhaps to the next generation. All right, my Mac. Love my Mac, love it to bits. I want to travel without it. It's heavy, it's like a 16-inch MacBook Pro, I'd love to be able to, I've got a trip to Japan coming up. I just went to Sydney. I'd love to be able to travel without my laptop. Can you hear all the birds? It's so nice. So how can I do this? I take my phone, I take a battery for my phone. Don't have it here, but like a MagSafe one. And I take a charger that'll do, it's like a nice little tiny GAN charger with a cord, USB-C to USB-C and USB-C to Apple Watch. And with that, I can charge my watch, I can charge my phone, and I can charge my AirPods. So this is the setup I took with me to Sydney, where I was delivering a talk at a conference. And I get to the talk, right? I get to the stage, 15 minutes, they mic me up and everything. And they say, all right, we're ready. Put your Keynote, connect to the Keynote. I said, oh, I already sent you my Keynote presentation. You should have it on the computer that's connected to the projector already. So they look it up. Yeah, sure enough, it's there in Google Drive, and they try to open it. But I sent a Keynote file, and they're on a PC. They can't open a Keynote file, which, I mean, come on. Like these days, surely Microsoft Office PowerPoint should support opening a Keynote file. But anyway, they can't open this file, and I don't have my laptop. What are we going to do? And the guy's freaking out a bit. I say, oh, maybe you should, hold on, my air conditioning just came on. I'll just turn it back off again. Maybe you should borrow a Mac or something like that. And I say, hold on, I've got an idea. So the HDMI cable was a USB-C end to plug into MacBooks that they had for their projector. So I just plugged it into my phone and opened the Keynote app on my iPhone 15. And it connected to these two huge projectors that were, putting the presentation, the talk, and I just used my phone to navigate through the slides and deliver my talk all from my phone. Didn't need a laptop. It was really brilliant. Anyway, I thought you'd be proud of me for that. I was really happy with it. So yeah, now this Japan trip coming up, I'm not giving a talk this time, but I'm confident. I don't need to travel. I don't take my wallet. I don't take my phone. If only I could get my car to work with like the Apple Car Key integration, then I wouldn't ever need to travel with keys either. So I also have my AirPods. So phone, AirPods, keys. That's what's in my wallet. In my pockets. What's in your pockets? All right. Another topic for this week is I talked previously about this concept of focus weeks for side projects. I have my work that I do during the day, and I have all of these ideas for side projects, but how do you get work done? And it's hard because, especially with side projects, there's a lot of ramping up, getting up to speed, like motivation to start. And then, for example, I'm working on a project that uses Flutter, and even just to work on that, I'm like, I have to open Android Studio, and just that act of pressing Command Space Android Enter, that just requires so much motivation from me. For some reason, I just don't like using Android Studio. And so all of our side projects have this mental context switch that takes a lot. It's really hard to context switch away from all day work to side projects. And so how do you manage it? How do you figure that out? So I came up with this idea that I'm trying out, focus weeks, where I'm going to say, all right, all week, I'm going to dedicate this week to my side project. And I'll still work during the day, but that way I can spend Monday context switching, and I'll still have that context ready to go on Tuesday. So I tried that out. Turns out it took me 2 weeks to do 1 week worth of work, but that's okay. I still had my focus week. It just took me 2 weeks to work on one app, Amber Hour. I missed a few days because of travel or whatever, but I got in 5 days worth of work, and it worked really well. This week is my chicken coop, building something in the backyard. I'm building a chicken coop. It's my focus week for the chicken coop, and we've had a lot of rain. I've got in 2 days worth of work on the chicken coop. So that's not been great, but focus weeks, I've decided they can be more than a week. Maybe they can be 2 or 3 weeks. It's just I'm going to dedicate about 5 days to working on this. Maybe I should change it. Maybe it should be longer, shorter. I'm not sure. What do you think, Joshua? It's good to see you on the video, and I will post this to YouTube now. I'll see you later.